Okay, we just finished coding our class. Now we're going to do all the methods in our class into our .cpp file. Before I leave this, I'm going to show you one other command I've lost. This OStream and some of these other string, they're all part of the std library. So don't forget to go back and we're going to say using namespace std. That way we don't have to put std : OStream, std : like everywhere we use string and OStream and IOmanip and all those other things. Okay, so now go over to, there's your main file. We're not going to code your main. Let's make that bigger so you can see. We're not going to code main yet. Instead, go to your Pokemon.cpp. And if you remember, we got rid of the constructor because we're not going to, destructor, we're not talking about that yet. But if yours auto does code for you, it might already have some code there for your constructor. Mine did. If not, just go ahead and type it in. So you do need to include our Pokemon.h file because that's where it's reading from. Your Pokemon.h include statement is quotes because it's a local file. Now here's kind of the structure. Now, if this were Java, comparing to Java, your function would look like that, right? It would just have the name of the class, open, close parentheses, all your defaults there. We're adding one more thing. We're specifying that this file is part of this particular class, and we're going to correlate that with this scope resolution operator. Alternatively, you can do it Java style, and instead of putting your function prototypes here, you could just put all your functions in there. But it makes your class really big, and that's one of the things I do like about C++ is the ability to separate the function definition so you could just kind of skim through and see what the class does from the actual function implementations. Okay, so here is our constructor. All we have to do in the constructor is declare all the default variables, or class variables, I should say, not default. All right, so we had 3. If we go back over to name, HP, and strength, those are our 3 variables we have to declare. So I'm going to say name equals, do we want a default name? Generic, how about if we just say Pikachu? Is that how you spell Pikachu? Pikachu will be our default. HP is going to be 100, and strength is going to get set each time, so we're going to start it at 0. That is done. Okay, so we have just coded the implementation of this constructor. Now I want to do the implementation of this constructor with the string parameter. That way I could specify the name instead of having it be Pikachu. Since it's going to look really similar, let's just copy and paste this one in and modify it. Okay, so here's my default. Now I want to be able to set the name. Okay, so here we go. My parameter is called name. My class variable is called name. I want to set my class variable equal to my parameter. The only problem is they both have the same name. I can do one of 2 things. I can rename the parameter to something different. That's one way of doing it. Alternatively, I can use the keyword this. I'm going to say this arrow name, and what that means is this one is the class variable, and I'm going to set the class variable equal to the incoming parameter. There it is. And then we set our defaults, leave our defaults there for our function. Okay, so we have a constructor, overloaded constructor that has 1 parameter. If you wanted to do an overloaded constructor that had 3 parameters, you could do that. Just put 3 parameters there. This dot arrow HP equals HP. This arrow strength equals strength. It would work. I'm going to keep it simple. Just do 1. Okay, next method we can do. I'm just going to go down the line. No, I'm not. I'm going to skip battle because that's a little bit more technical. Lied. How about some getters? Let's do a get strength, get name, get HP. All right, here we go. Scope resolution operator. Get, they all had int, right? And it was get HP, I think is what the name was. That's normally how it looks, but we have to add the scope resolution operator. It's part of the Pokemon class, : get HP. All this one is going to do is return HP. There you go. Okay, your turn. Do me a getter for name. Do me a getter for, what's the other one? Strength. You doing it? Pause the video so you don't see because I'm going to paste it in right now. What did I say? Name and strength. Copy and paste mine in. Okay, there's your get name. Looks exactly the same, but it has a string return type because name is a string. And same thing with strength. Strength looks almost exactly identical. The only difference is it's got a different variable in there. Did I spell strength right? Okay, so now we've done a couple of getters. Let's go back and let's go check our list on what we've done. Okay, so I've done all of these guys. Set strength. Let's set our strength. All we're doing is setting it equal to a random number. So here we go. Setters are a void type. I still have to have my Pokemon : Okay, normally setters would look something like this. You'd have your parameter strength, and then you would set your class variable, this arrow strength equals strength. In our situation, we don't want to allow them to set the strength. We're going to make the strength just be random. So I'm going to get rid of this parameter and just set the strength equal to a random number. Oh, you remember how to do random numbers? Do me a random number between 1 and 20. How's that? 40? How about 1 and 40? So remember, it's mod 40 plus 1. That's it. So this particular method is done. Let's check our list of methods that we're coding. Going back to the .h. So we've done our constructors. We skipped battle. We have our set strength, our get strength, our get name, get HP. Okay, so we're going to do take damage, battle, and then we're going to show you how to code our operator here. All right, let's do take damage because that's an easy one. I'm just going to copy this. That way I don't forget how to spell it. Paste that in. We're making it a method. Don't forget to go in and add your scope resolution operator. So here we're going to say Pokemon : There we go. Take damage. All we're doing is losing HP. So I'm going to say HP minus equals whatever damage we specify. So in the function prototype, I don't have to specify a variable, but in the actual function implementation, I do. I'm going to use the variable damage. There we go. So whatever damage I'm sent is how much I'm going to subtract on my HP. Okay, not too shabby. So we've got our take damage done. Let's go back and grab our, I think we're ready for our battle now. This one's going to be a little tricky because it kind of has all of our logic in it. I mean, that's pretty much what we're doing is battling, right? All right, so I'm going to paste that in, add in my scope resolution operator. If I say scope resolution operator enough times, will you remember it? That's okay. All right, if I'm going to battle, I'm battling against another Pokemon. So I'm going to call this guy other. Okay, so before we start our battle, we have to set our strength. So I'm going to say set strength. Oh, and I'm recording I'm going to pause the video here now and catch you in the next video. And we'll code this battle together.